What's up, everyone, and welcome back to Movie Race.
The anticipation for 50 Shades 4 grew bigger once Jamie Dornan announced he's no longer interested in the role of Christian Grey. Now that new actors are being suggested for the part, we are announcing the end of an era. 50 Shades without Dorian is not 50 Shades, which is why we've decided to take you on a journey on which we'll go through everything that will make 50 Shades 4 different. Let's start off with the possibility of 50 Shades 4 happening.
I vow to be your faithful partner in sickness and in health. I promise to love you and...
The good news is we already have a fourth installment of the series, but only on pages. The author of the extremely popular books decided to give fans the much-anticipated continuation, a book in which the whole story is retold from Christian Grey's perspective. Interestingly enough, the author first thought of writing the book from Anastasia's perspective, but she changed her mind because, well, seeing how Grey looked at things is much more interesting. His mind is more messed up than the one of his love interest. Anyway, the fourth book in the book series was released back in 2022. It's almost 2023 and there is still no word about the book being given a screen adaptation. So what's happening? When you take the popularity of the film franchise into consideration, it seems a bit odd that there is still no threequels and remakes prevail. So why is 50 Shades 4 still waiting for a green light? What's stopping the creators? The final installment of 50 Shades of Grey as told by Christian, the spin-off series of the original trilogy, which follows Anna and Christian's love story from the perspective of Mr. Grey, was a huge hit. Fans who have read the book claim it is a true masterpiece, which is really confusing when you think about how the creators of the screen adaptation have shown zero interest in adapting the last novel. E.L. James, the British author we should all send thank you cards to for creating such a masterpiece, is probably waiting to see the screen adaptation of her book as well.
Please, and thank you.
I'll be in my office.
Okay.
So we already know that the fan-favorite couple finally tied the knot in 50 Shades Freed, which means the book has yet another wedding. Back in 2021, James decided to talk about the book's long-awaited release date. This story has been a labor of love, one that my readers have been eagerly awaiting, she said in a press release. For me, just as for Anastasia Steele, Christian is a challenging, infuriating, and endlessly fascinating character. Living in his head is exhausting, but I got to explore aspects of his life in Freed that we only glimpsed in the original trilogy, and to follow his emotional growth in response to Anna's love and compassion. The original 50 Shades books were, as previously mentioned, a massive hit. Did you guys know that the book were actually enjoying their place on the New York Times bestseller list for 133 consecutive weeks? And then the best thing happened. These books were turned into an even more successful film series starring Johnson and Dorian. So why is Dorian not interested in 50 Shades Freed as told by Christian?
And I know you're gonna say I don't need to work, but I can't stay home and do lunches.
In a statement, Dorian explained why he won't be playing Christian Grey in 50 Shades anymore, and fans of the franchise were left devastated. I know a lot of you would never watch a follow-up without the amazingly talented actor, but again, maybe a project with a different actor would be good. Who knows? One thing we know for sure is that Dorian will no longer appear in any 50 Shades of Grey features. Back when fans were anxiously anticipating the third installment of the franchise, the actor said something we didn't want to hear. He said he cuts ties with the franchise and he doesn't want to play Christian anymore. In an interview on ITV1's Lorraine, the actor was asked whether he'll take on the role of Christian again if author E.L. James decides to surprise fans with a fourth movie one day. But Jamie said there are no other books. Erica wrote the first two books again from Christian's perspective, but I guess we've done those films, the same stories, so they won't be doing that again, unless Erica keeps writing. But Dakota Johnson and I are, particularly me, I'm getting too old for this. Well, that sounds awful. He also said that you need to smash that like button if you want him to reprise his role. Interestingly enough, this isn't the first time the actor says it's over between him and the popular franchise. In an interview with The Sun back in September 2016, he said he was actually finished with it. I've done 50 Shades forever. I move on very fast in my mind. As much as from the outside people think you are synonymous with one character, but I'm very much like, right, that's done, and move on to the next project and worry about that character.
Where are the scissors?
In my desk.
Wait here. Don't move.
So who could play Christian now that Jamie is exiting the series? It's been more than a couple of years since we saw what's referred to as the last film of the popular franchise, and we're still obsessed with the film's cast ensemble, the film soundtrack, and the film's steamy scenes. We honestly thought we were going to see Jamie Dornan as Christian and Dakota Johnson as Anna in all of the films, but now we discovered that there were some other actors considered for the parts. Charlie Hunnam was one of them. Some reports even claim that Shailene Woodley was initially cast for the part, but one of the most desired candidates for Christian Grey is the TVD star Ian Somerhalder. To be honest with you, I vote for Ian as well. First of all, he's handsome. Second, he could really fit into the role. Third, he's really talented, and I have zero doubts that his performance would be incredible. Christian Grey is actually something like Ian's character in TVD, Damon. Another candidate is Alexander Skarsgård. He's hot, he looks like he's hiding something, and he's really talented. What do you guys think of Alexander as Christian? Can you at least imagine him in the role? What about Matt Bomer? Here's the thing, although a lot of fans believe Matt would do an amazing job as Christian, we don't really think he'll be interested in such a role. He's really picky about the projects he performs in, and I just don't think a film like 50 Shades is his cup of tea. Unlike him, I could totally imagine Robert Pattinson as the lead of 50 Shades 4. Yes, Pattinson is also a bit picky when choosing roles nowadays. I mean, can you blame him following his involvement in Twilight? Even though I'm sticking with Ian, I could easily imagine Pattinson playing Christian Grey in the potential fourth film of the trilogy. I'm just not sure if he'll ever agree to such a role.
And now you know how that feels.
Christian, what are you doing? Don't stop.
The last candidate is Ryan Gosling. Some of you might hate me for this, but I don't like Ryan Gosling in La La Land. I don't like the film as well. I know it's an unpopular opinion, but that's just how I feel. But when I think of him as Christian Grey, well, I actually think he'll do a great job. Ryan can definitely play any role at any time. But according to some fans, he looks nothing like the character. What do you think? Who would you choose? A lot of actors dream of being cast in a successful movie franchise, but when that franchise is the 50 Shades trilogy, the actors face a lot of criticism. When you think about it, it's not their fault that the story is what it is. Why are we blaming actors? The same happened with the After franchise, with a lot of viewers blaming Josephine Langford and hero Finn Tiffin for a story they didn't write. As Finn once said, "You need to smash that subscribe button and notification bell so you'll never miss any of our videos in the future."
Did you sleep with her?
No. What, do you think I'd cheat on you?
You did. You confided in her.
My point is that even though the actor who played Christian Grey in the movies, Jamie Dornan, doesn't want to act in the upcoming movies, he seems to have no regrets about being part of the series. See you in the next video.